It's time for another update. I've now been running with my Garmin 255 for what is it now, about 2 months? No, a month and a half. So what's happened in those few weeks? For those 6 of you that have been appearing to regularly have a quick look at what I'm doing, thank you very much. Please click the subscribe. It will be very helpful, and click the like if you even if it's slightly informative to you. I started, as those people will know, by saying that I'm one of these runners that I've been running for ages, years, and I've started to get colds when I was running in winter. So I'm a summer runner. I've been a summer runner until this last year, and I've always ran quicker at the beginning, and even as closely back as the beginning of last year, I'd be running the first mile of a half marathon in about 7.5 minutes, 7.25 per mile. But the problem is I finish on about 10.5 minute miles. And I've always said that I've tried doing it the other way, but I just can't seem to get that impetus to do slow at the beginning. And as I decided to get the 255 for reasons I've said in previous videos, so I'm not going to go over that again. But I did several runs, and I'm trying my hardest to do what Garmin is suggesting, which is a 9.5 minute mile starter. So I'm doing 9.5 minute mile running down, and I'm thinking this is actually quite difficult. You regularly, the first 100 yards is about 7.25 minute miles, and I'm thinking, you can slow down, for God's sake, slow down. And it's really handy to have your watch there to just look at and say, no, you really do need to slow down. Excuse me, I'm a bit of a cold again. But the difference between that and holding, if you don't see the hand, holding a phone in front of you and literally going, oh, okay, where's what speed am I doing? I found out it's twofold. The phone was very inaccurate, hugely inaccurate, and it couldn't get a signal quite often. And if you followed the map, it cut corners quite regularly, even in urban situations. Well, like I say, a school playing field. So there's no houses around. There's no big buildings. There's no huge tall trees, but it still cut the signal, and you'd cut the course off. So I found the watch is a lot more accurate. Also, it measures it more often, and it's giving you a quicker result of you suddenly speeding up, rather than having to wait 100, 200 yards before the phone app decides to update it and suddenly say that you've speeded up too much. So for that reason, the watch is actually quite handy. So you're running along and you can keep track of it. Oh God, I've got to slow down. So it's been really handy. It's been really handy for that situation. And I've started to get a few really good results. I remember there was a 5.5 mile run that I did recently, and I started off on 9 minutes 40 per mile. Managed to really slow it down. And I did a 9:30 and a 9:15 and a 9 and an 8:44. I think the 5th mile was an 8:44. And I remember thinking, hell, I was doing 9.5 minute miles on the half marathon at this point, and struggling to keep it at least at that for a little while before it slowed again. And I'm running thinking, I actually feel really good. I actually feel better now than I did at the beginning, because at the beginning you've not done much. I'd not done much stretching and getting used to things, because I knew I was going to do a slow start. So actually, I felt really quite invigorated and driven, and I was actually enjoying the run. And I say that for a reason, because before, if it's talked to me this time last year, doing a run, you get to 5 miles and you're thinking, oh, I'm knackered. I really am knackered. I hate this. I know I had to do it because I'm training for the half marathon, so I've got to do this run. But I don't feel good. I'm not enjoying the run. I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing. And now I'm running, and at 5 miles, I'm running down the beach. And I'm thinking, wow, what a great view. And, look at the tide lapping on the shore. And you can enjoy things. And it's actually really a great feeling. All of a sudden, you've got this enjoyment of running back. And if that's down to the watch, absolutely brilliant. It really does give you that impetus to get one and see how much you can enjoy during the run. Because I was thinking about what I should ask people. I always like to ask people who do listen to this later on what your thoughts are. And I was thinking about getting the watch in the first place, because if you're one of the usual 40 plus runners age wise that's been running for ages, and you just do it because you know you should, and you know you need to keep fit, so you go out there, you do your little bit of running. Yeah, you're okay with it. You're never going to be in the top half of the table. If you do a run, if you do a race, you're always going to be in the bottom end, and you're really only running against yourself. And you think, do I get a watch? Well, there's no point, because I'm doing this, and I'm doing it at, let's say, 10-minute miles. It's not going to change. If I was to say you could probably get a watch, even the 55, Garmin 55, and you could use the app alongside it, and use the training bit in it to improve yourself 10-20%, and actually enjoy the run to a point where you're actually looking around and soaking in where you're running. Would that actually make a difference? Would that make you want to buy a watch, based on the fact that you could actually go out there and run a decent distance and actually enjoy it and get better and improve? Yeah, you've probably, most of you will probably agree that you've probably lost too much muscle mass to even get close to the top 10, 20, 30, or even 40% of the runners in the race of your age group even. But knowing that you could do that and actually say, 2 months ago I was running 10-minute miles. Now I'm running 8 minutes 50. And if you could do that next year and think, I'm still on 8 minutes 58 minutes, 8 minutes 59 minutes. Hell, that's still a big percentage bigger, faster than what I was doing before. Would that make you want to buy something, a watch that could help you, or a device, in this case a watch, trying to be as vague as possible, to improve yourself that much and give you the health benefits and the feel good factor as you're running that training run or even the race? Would it make you want to buy one? Basically, answers down below. Dink. Click the subscribe. I need 50 apparently to do this on YouTube, which would be very, very good, because doing it on Streamlabs on the tablet is just a little bit too cobbled together. So what's my time been like recently? I started on a good foot in that I could run short distances, 1, 2, 3, 4 miles at about between 7:30 and 8:50. 7:30 and 8:30, going on to sort of 9:30 for a 5-mile run. Times overall, I've been doing about 5.5, 6 miles. The averages have been somewhere between 9:15 and 8:40. Well, no, for the total, yeah, probably about 9:15, 9:20 for the whole 5 or 6 mile run, which is probably about the same as what I was getting for the 5-mile before. And so it's not so, well, it's probably a little bit slower actually. So it's not improved in that sense, but what it has done, like I say, I'm feeling so much better at the end of it. And the times are improving as I'm going through the training, and you're thinking, wow, that's just doing really well. So the times, I want to do a longer run now to see whether it does actually spread out past that 8 mile, 8.5 mile onto the 9 and 10 miles. Let's see where the 10 miler goes. Let's see if I can do 10 mile and still improve past that 5 miles. Target is to try and improve steadily, quick, from a 9.5 minute mile to about 6 miles, and then try and make it so that at least I stay around the same ballpark. So if I can get improved from the 8:44, if I can improve past that 5 miles to about 8:15, 8-minute miles at about 7 or 8 mile, I would think that would be about my maximum, and because I'll spread out the energy rather than bursting it all at the beginning. And then hopefully I could just sit on that for a mile, sit on it for 2 miles, hopefully, and then try and use the gels and use perhaps a walk, run, walk theory to try and improve it to the end. Because I have actually tried the walk, run idea, and I actually lost no time. Zero time. You couldn't tell which of the miles I did the run, walk, run in. You really couldn't, because the times were really quite level all the way across this 5-mile run. And somewhere in there's a run, walk, run. Several run, walk, runs that actually didn't make any difference to time whatsoever, because I'd be sprinting, walking, and then just jogging off on the other end, and the times just seemed to level each other out. So let's see what it does. So that's the running side done. The training side, I had an interesting issue with the Garmin 255, in that if you did a run that did, let's say you did a run that's 1 mile long, and then it gives you, there's a couple that give you 1 mile run, a 5-minute recovery, a 1 mile run, a 5-minute recovery, a 1 mile run. My issue was that the messages you were getting in the run came through every mile and at every change of phase, if you like. So I'd get a message at 1 mile. I'd get a message at 1 mile plus 5 minutes. I'd get a message at 2 miles, which is in the middle of the second mile of the workout. And then I get another message at the end of the mile of the workout, which is basically 2 miles and 5 minutes. and then another message at 3 and it was just totally screwing the whole run up, because you're constantly looking at your watch. Am I at the end of a mile, or am I at the end of a stage? Fortunately, my watch was updated 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and I did a workout similar to that, and it's gone. They're not doing it. They've got rid of this awful 1 mile messaging. So I did a 1 mile, and I did another mile, and then there was a 5-minute cool down, and then a recovery for a mile, and it didn't give me a mile marker in the middle. It carried on all the way to the end of the workout mile, and then said, yeah, end of mile. Thank God for that. That was so annoying. That's the one thing about the Garmin that really did annoy me in training. It was like, if the miles didn't match, if the workout wasn't matched to a mile marker, you still got the mile marker issued in the middle of your training, and it was just a nightmare. And I've got notifications turned off, so don't think it's turn notifications off. Notifications were turned off. It still gave me the other mile marker in the middle. Thankfully, Garmin have taken it out. It now doesn't give you the mile markers in the middle. The other thing, of course, is that the update now comes with wrist-based power. You now have wrist-based power, and you can get into the watch to have a look at to turn on your wrist-based power. However, there's a bug. I know everybody else has seen it. There's a bug. You can't get into wrist-based power, the wrist-based power options on your Garmin Connect app. As soon as you try, it says that the no device is connected. You can get into anything else on the watch, and it obviously knows you're connected to the watch, and you can change all the other settings on the watch directly from Connect, but not that option. If you click that option on your watch on the Garmin Connect app, it will tell you. I tried it several times now and rebooted it. It will tell you device not connected. So unfortunately, they got a bug, but you do have wrist-based power. You can get to the option on your watch. It does tell you device is not connected. Please try your doing it on your device. You can do that, and it is really easy. Just user settings and power options, and you get through to your wrist-based power, and you can turn that back on. Because I turned it off because I don't have any the bits and bobs that I strap around my leg to measure the power. I don't want to, because I don't see the point. So now you have it. So they do listen. They do change things. I think the watch overall is a really good benefit. About a week ago, I went for a run, and I suddenly felt a bit dizzy, and I'm thinking, I haven't had enough water, and I got to the end of the run, and it's one of those moments where you look at the data and you think, going down that road, all of a sudden my heart rate went from, I think it was about 160 to 172 in 3 seconds. And I looked at the position, I thought, bloody hell, that's exactly where I felt really dizzy and really, really rather ill. And then it gently sort of dropped off a little bit, but stayed quite high. And then I noticed it had happened before in the same run. I didn't feel anything at that point because the point I recognised it was in a recovery part of it. So I'm doing a recovery run and I felt ill. In the actual sprinting section earlier on, apparently it did exactly the same thing. Only it didn't just go up 12, it had gone from about 158, 159 to about 174, 175. So you've gone up an awful lot more. But then dove back down quite steadily. So you do sort of notice things with the watch, and I think it's important to sort of try and not read too much into them, but also to keep an eye on it. So that's something that I've kept an eye on. It's something I've just wanted to make sure I've done a run. Has it done that again? Did I notice anything? I felt a bit drained, I think, on the last one, and I had a quick look at it for the same thing, and it wasn't on. So obviously you do keep an eye on it, and so if you see something like that, just make sure it's not happening regular, because it's not natural for your heart suddenly to jump 10-20% and basically stay there. There's something that has to have set it off, and in this case I was the second time in that run I was actually feeling quite drained, dizzy and quite awful. So there has to be reasons for it. Again, you can if there were more people on places like this, you could ask them physically in chat rooms like this, and just sort of chat your way through, and perhaps someone's had the same issue. If you have, then please put on the bottom, put your if you found out what it was, then please do put it in the bottom. I'd be really, really, really probably relieved and happy to know what it was. But yeah, on the whole, the watch has been quite good for the health. It's shown me exactly what's going on and what's happening and what's improving. I was only yesterday I was looking at the maximum heart rate for the last 5 mile run. I did a 5 and a bit mile run. My maximum heart rate was about 165, something like that. Now, before, I remember doing 5 mile runs and getting a maximum of about 177 and 178, and once I remember it going to 180. And that's just on a general run. And now I don't seem to really be able to get it above 165, 166, unless I'm really, really sprinting away. Which is quite interesting. I like that the head's just not saying, "Oh God, he's running. Let's shove the heart rate up." Let's see if it makes any difference to the times. Let's see. I'm told that as your body gets used to your running, it automatically does these things. It reduces the heart rate because it knows it doesn't need to do it, or it won't increase the heart rate quite so quickly at the beginning, because it knows it's used to you starting off a run, and it's used to you doing a run every other day or whatever, and it's not just going to panic and shove it up to 180 straight away. So we'll see how it does for times. We're going to carry on with this. I'm going to keep on doing this. I think there's about, like I said, 5 or 6 people that do drop in. If you have any questions, please put them on the bottom. I would be more than happy if you want to chat. Use it as a quick forum in the chat. Just keep chatting with each other. No problem with that whatsoever. You go chat away. If you want to ask me a question, then I'll certainly respond if I can. And I'm at the minute, I'm trying to look around for the watch. I'm open to any questions. If anybody wants to click subscribe, please try and get me. It'd be nice to get to 50. I could then use the YouTube app itself to go live instead of using Streamlabs, which is a little bit difficult, and I have to use it on the tablet, which is even more difficult. It shakes everywhere. I look forward to trying to get people together to discuss these things. It's been an interesting purchase. Would I say that it's worth it for people over 40? Absolutely. It's it does show you what your health's doing. Gives you a few kicks if you start realizing that your heart rate's not doing what it should do, or if you can check your oxygen level and just make sure that you're not too bad. And I tell you what, when you're getting a cold, you really do notice by your heart HRV score. It really does start to drop. Yeah, you can really tell by following your HRV trend that you're going to be there might be a cold coming, and in a way it's quite good. It means you can take action before your body actually tells you, you've got a cold, mate. You don't feel very well. So it's actually quite interesting. Yeah, the things you can get from it are beyond what we would have thought when we were kids running around the school playing field. So it's been quite a good journey so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to carry on running for, that's a shirt back there, covered up slightly, for brain tumour research, because the wife's got a brain tumour, is critically ill with that. So if anybody wants to support me, then I will be opening another page, because I've shut the last one down after I finished the Gosport half marathon. But when I book my next half marathon, I will be opening another one, and I will be on here trying to pedal for some money, I'm afraid. But it's a worthwhile cause. Hopefully somebody in a business will try and sponsor me this time, and we'll get a few business sponsorships. But until then, we'll keep on training, and we'll keep on looking out for other people that want to run with me, and we'll see. The last time was quite good. I got a customer with me, and I was running ahead of him for most of the time until I think near the end, in which I think he just zoomed past me. But I want to get my own back next time, and keep ahead of my customers, and we'll try and do a little bit better than 2 hours. I think we'll try and break 2 hours. I'm quietly confident that I could beat 2 hours. It's not going to be easy, but I think this the watch is going to make a hell of a lot of difference, and we're going to try and do a few long runs, guys. Let's get those long runs in. So there's plenty of videos out there on running slow to run quicker. Please do have a look at them. There's lots of them. I'm not going to do them myself. I'm just going to say that running slow to run quicker does seem to work, and that the run walk run idea, I'm surprised I didn't try it before. It didn't improve the time, obviously, because you're walking, but it didn't reduce it. If you do it, what I would say, if you're going to try it by looking at the distances that you're going to walk. One of the runners, the aged runners on here, said he does a 4-minute run and a 1-minute walk. That may be okay for you, or you may decide that you're going to do a 100-yard sprint, a 20, 30, 40-second walk, dependent on a certain distance, like 2 lamp posts or 3 lamp posts, and then you're going to do the rest of the mile to a normal run. And check it guys, with the mile before and the mile after, and try and alter it. Let's do a little bit less of a sprint, let's do a little bit more of a walk, and alter it so that you actually don't lose any time, and see if you actually feel better when you stop that bit where you stop walking and you start running. Do you feel better? How much do you feel better? Look at your watch, look at your heart rate. Has it slowed down nicely? Hopefully, because I recover quite well, so me 20 seconds, 30 seconds walk, and my heart rate's dropped very, very nicely, thank you very much, and I'm actually feeling pretty reinvigorated. But you'll be different, so you try different lengths, different proportions. Perhaps get rid of the sprint altogether and just do a walk, and hope that the walk gives you enough invigoration to set off a little bit quicker and sort of balance out at least some of the walk that you've just done, losing time, so that you're not losing a hell of a lot. But what I'm saying is just try and make it balanced for you, and try a few times. Just do a couple of miles, and then on the second mile, sort of go into it. Right, okay, I'm going to try a different timing here. Let's try a sprint for 10 seconds. Let's try a walk for 35 seconds, and let's see whether that's made any difference to the mile that I did before, and the mile I did after, with the mile in the middle with the walk in it. Because actually it can make no difference whatsoever, and certain runners and sprinters in the past have actually said it actually helped them improve. So I can't get it to improve my times, but I can certainly get it to keep them the same, and actually end up feeling better when I stop walking and start running. So you're at a part of the run where you're probably getting tired, and actually you're feeling reinvigorated again. So it's actually it does seem to work quite well. And there's plenty of videos on Run Walk Run. Please see them. They're very, very good. Like I say, just change it for yourself. It's something you can also do on the Garmin watch. You can actually set the Garmin watch up to give you a notification that you should be walking now. So you can put a workout on there that says run for 4 minutes, walk for a minute, run for 4 minutes, walk for 4, or for 1. And like one of them says, towards the end you might decide to lengthen one of them, and if it starts telling you must be walking, he says, what all you've got to do is remember in your head that we're going to go 30 seconds on this time, and then do a bit of a walk. So you can change it, as long as you can keep it in your head that you're wanting to do a little bit more of a run and less of a walk, because you're near the end and you're wanting to sprint that last mile rather than stop in the middle and do a walk. So it's a great idea. I would say for today's homework, have a look at the Run Walk Run idea, and then and have it a go. Give it a quick go and see what it works. Well, whether it works for you guys, and give a comment on the bottom. I think the Run Walk Run for people our age is it's a nice way of getting that rest in the middle, and feeling the body. You just like close your eyes and go. Your body feels a lot better, and you start running, and you actually enjoy the run a little bit more. And the other thing is to really try this slower start. If you're like me and you've been running it for 40-50 years, and you're thinking, I'm not gonna do well, not 40-50 years. I've probably been running about 20 years, and I've always ran quick at the beginning. This is the first time when I'm 57 that I'm going to run slow at the beginning and faster at the end. Have a go, guys. I challenge you. It's not as easy as what you think. It really isn't. Have a good go. Let's see if anybody comes on. I don't think they will. I'll give it another minute. But I've certainly enjoyed it. I'm enjoying doing these. I really am. It helps me in my job as well. So being in front of a camera talking to a piece of plastic is not great, but it's something that I'm starting to get used to. It's great fun when you get into the blurb and you start thinking about all the things you want to talk about. I say if I could get onto 50, if I get onto 1 subscriber, it'd be good. If I go on to 50 subscribers, I can start to use YouTube, and I can start putting a bit of a plan in front of me on the side of the computer, and I'll be able to just do this a little bit more professionally, so that I'm actually talking about a subject rather than multiple subjects. But as it is, because I just don't have that ability, and I've got to just go on Streamlabs and go live, 2 hands on the tablet, I'm not able to do that sort of side planning and go through subjects one by one. If you do want me to go through subjects, again, drop it in the bottom. If you're interested in a particular subject, for God's sake, drop it in the bottom, and I will try and plan something for you, and I will try and get some information off the internet if you need, and we'll try and discuss that. If you have any times that you want this to happen in particular, there's a clock going, then please also put it down. If you're available at certain times of the day and you live in Central Eastern Time or whatever, then please do put it down, and I'll see if I can go live at a time reasonable to you. I don't mind if I can if it means I'm helping people and I'm having a chat with somebody. No bother whatsoever. Please like, please subscribe, and I shall see you all in about a week or 2 weeks at the most. And I'll wish you all good luck and happy training out there, guys and girls.